In the 1980s, the Vishwa Hindu Parishad, a body linked to the BJP via the RSS, launched a movement to reclaim a site in Ayodhya, considered Lord Ram's birthplace, to erect a temple dedicated to Ram Lala. The newly formed BJP became the political face of the campaign. Advani rode his Rath over the political landscape that was India, unleashing passions and divides that would challenge the apparently secular narrative that the Republic had chosen for itself. When Advani had let the genie of Hindu majority out of the bottle, he had also aptly positioned the BJP to reap the electoral benefits that followed the renewed polarization of society. If there is one march in the annals of independent India that marks the end of an epoch and the beginning of another, it is the Rath Yatra led by Lal Krishna Advani in 1990. Advani, also called the Iron Man of the BJP, changed the face of the party and introduced the concept of hardline Hindutva as the core political ideology of the BJP. And the Rath Yatra that he began on 25th of September 1990 cemented his reputation as a Hindu hardliner.
Till 89, should I say, it never sounded as big. But yes, it had built up. There was a feeling that, politically BJP stands to gain out of this. But then suddenly Mughal Singh was there on the horizon. His government was formed. And, suddenly this entire issue started getting much more momentum than it ever got. Yes, Hindu fundamentalism was at the fore.
In Delhi, the Janata Dal Prime Minister VP Singh, who headed a five-party minority coalition government, counted on outside support from the left parties and the BJP to stay in power. He was under pressure from his political opponents as well as allies to bring about an immediate halt to the Yatra. A decision that was fraught with danger for the stability of his government. But the clamour was that the Rath Yatra was fomenting communal hatred. It was pitting Hindus against Muslims.
He started in a very mild fashion in Gujarat. He didn't make any provocative statements. So it was not known at that time what is the nature, because earlier also programs of carrying bricks and all were there, and even the left governments allowed it. Its real nature came later on, unfolded when he came to his own governments.
As Advani and his Rath crossed state after state, it became a matter of not only law and order in the country, but a question of political expediency. Who would have the gall to stop the Hindu juggernaut? In Bihar, the Janata Dal Chief Minister Lalu Prasad Yadav warned Advani that he would not be allowed to cross into Uttar Pradesh. Not heeding the repeated threats, Advani's Rath continued on towards Ayodhya. Till finally, Lalu Prasad Yadav proved he had it in him to bell the cat. On 23rd of October 1990, Advani was arrested at Samastipur just before his Rath was to cross into UP. The BJP immediately withdrew support from the National Front government at the centre. And on 7th of November 1990, VP Singh paid the price of having stopped Advani's Rath from reaching Ayodhya. It cost him his prime ministership. The twin towns of Ayodhya and Faizabad began to resemble a fortress as the Janata Dal Chief Minister Mughal Singh fortified the area around Babri Masjid to stop car sevaks from reaching the site. But it was not enough, as VHP and Bajrang Dal activists continued to pour into the town, evading Mulayam's police barricades. On October 30th, 1990, thousands of car sevaks thronged the Hanumangadi crossing. Despite the curfew, first-time BJP MP Uma Bharti, VHP Joint Secretary Ashok Singhal, and Swami Vamdeo of the RSS led about 15,000 car sevaks towards the Babri Masjid. A few car sevaks even managed to climb the dome of the mosque and unfurl a saffron flag on top.
उस दिन मेरे ख्याल से 2 जत्थे निकले थे, एक हनुमान जी के मंदिर के सामने से, एक थोड़ा साइड से ऐसे बगल से निकला। जो बगल से निकला था उसमें बिल्कुल लड़ाई ऐसे हो रही थी जैसे युद्ध हो रहे होते हैं, एक तरफ जनता और एक तरफ मुलायम सिंह का शासन।
With instructions from the Mughal Singh government to not allow any damage to the mosque, the police resorted to firing at the crowd. The incident earned the Chief Minister of UP the title of Mullah Mulayam and would cost him his seat. At the centre, with the BJP having removed outside support, the VP Singh government lost its vote of confidence in Parliament and general elections were announced. The BJP, wanting to cash in on the belligerent Hindu sentiments that the Rath Yatra had unleashed, mounted a shrill campaign centered around the Ram Mandir issue.
बहुत बड़ी मात्रा में, बहुत बड़ी संख्या में ये लोग कहते हैं कि आप हिंदू वोट बैंक बना रहे हैं। मैंने कहा मैं हिंदू वोट बैंक नहीं बना रहा हूं, मैं पेट्रियोटिक वोट बैंक बना रहा हूं, मैं नेशनलिस्ट वोट बैंक।
When the Congress party went to the length of amending even the criminal law to undo the Supreme Court judgment on Shah Banu, went to the length of promoting Ram Raj, starting its election campaign from Ayodhya, that we felt that this is pure crass vote bank politics which has to be confronted by an strong ideological approach, and we did it, and we succeeded.
In the Uttar Pradesh Legislative Assembly elections in 1991, the BJP won big, adding 164 seats to bring up their total to 221, a figure that meant absolute majority in the assembly of 425. Kalyan Singh was brought in as the chief minister, and the BJP credited its electoral success to its promise of a Ram Rajya. The party considered it an endorsement for rebuilding the Ram Temple of Ayodhya. The VHP, along with the BJP, that was fast realizing the potentially larger political dividends this emotive issue could generate, began collecting consecrated bricks from across the country for the proposed Ram Temple.
A resolution on Ayodhya for the first time, concluding with the appeal, why not the government of India adopt the same attitude to Ayodhya which the first government of free India adopted towards Somnath. Pandit Nehru or Maulana Azad did not become communal on that account because they recreated Somnath. Similarly, there should be no difficulty this time also.
The 1991 general elections saw BJP add 35 more MPs to its Lok Sabha tally, taking their strength to a sizable 120. The tally may have been higher but for the assassination of Rajiv Gandhi. On 21st of May, one day after the first phase of polling for 221 of the 525 seats, Rajiv Gandhi was killed by an LTTE suicide bomber in Sriperumbudur, Tamil Nadu. The remaining two phases of polling were delayed and held in June and July. when the results came, the Congress won a sizable number of seats that were polled after the assassination. The Congress with 244 seats became the single largest party, and Narasimha Rao took over as the 9th Prime Minister of India. He had to depend on the promise of outside support by the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha and some independents. While the new Prime Minister chose to take a deliberately non-committal, non-confrontationist stand on the Ram Mandir Babri Masjid issue, the BJP had tasted blood with its success in the UP elections. After all, the battle cry for Ram, Roti and Insaf had placed a BJP government in Lucknow.
मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में उस आंदोलन के साथ मैं नहीं जुड़ा। आंदोलन चल रहा था तब भी, और आंदोलन चलाने वाले आंदोलन चला रहे थे, और उस आंदोलन के प्रति मेरी भी पूरी सहानुभूति थी।
He was a BJP chief minister, and that he was hands in glove with the VHP, and he was really working out, the scenario as they have been developed by the Sangh Parivar at the very highest level.
In Ayodhya, the new BJP Chief Minister, Kalyan Singh, handed over a 2.77-acre patch of land in front of the Babri Masjid to the Ram Janmabhoomi Nyas on lease. And by September-October 1991, permanent structures began coming up. The Allahabad High Court had earlier permitted the land to be used only to promote tourism and provide amenities to visitors. In June 1992, the Ram Janmabhoomi Nyas applied for permission from the Kalyan Singh government to conduct Kar Seva on 9th of July. The permission was given, and hundreds of thousands of people descended on the twin towns of Ayodhya, Faizabad to be part of the ceremony. And this time, the state security forces were under strict instructions to not use force. Ignoring the Allahabad High Court's ban, a platform was constructed right next to the Babri Masjid. In October 1992, VHP announced its decision to organize a grand Kar Seva on the 6th of December the same year. The Kar Seva was to be held in what the Sangh Parivar maintained as the undisputed area around the shrine. But there were fears that in the tense atmosphere, the mosque might be damaged.
सर पे कफन बांध के देखो बजरंगी की फौज चली गली गली में मात भवानी का गूंजा जयकारा है कहो गर्व से हम हिंदू हैं
On the 27th of November, the Kalyan Singh government submitted two assurances to the Supreme Court. First, as long as the 2.77-acre land acquisition dispute around the Babri Masjid remained unresolved, Kar Seva for building the temple would not take place. Second, the state government was fully committed to safeguarding the Babri Masjid. Based on these assurances, the plea for a symbolic Kar Seva was accepted by the Supreme Court. In Delhi, pressure mounted on Prime Minister Narasimha Rao to dismiss the Kalyan Singh government and bring Uttar Pradesh under President's rule. Rao refused, citing constitutional technicalities. By the 5th of December 1992, an estimated 250,000 people had gathered around the disputed structure.
मैं अपनी कुर्बानी देने के लिए आया हूं, लेकिन मंदिर बनेगा और वही बनेगा। जय श्री राम,
मंदिर का निर्माण नहीं होता है तब तक सब चलता रहेगा। जितने प्रकार का निर्माण होता है सब होगा।
I came to the clear conclusion that the plan is to demolish the mosque. I didn't want to tell this to the Prime Minister because for reasons by then I was convinced that he's not going to act. But I told the Home Secretary then, and I told him that you start preparing for whatever posture you want to take after the mosque is demolished.
The mood was very jubilant. As far as the car sevaks was concerned, they were all shouting slogans, Mandir wahin banayenge, Jai Shri Ram, and there are so many other slogans. But there was something in the air which told you that, you know, something more is going to happen. Maybe we were expecting something like car seva at the disputed site. They may force them in that particular, beyond the security cordon and do the car seva at the disputed site. Maybe the sanctum. Create some kind of a trouble inside the disputed structure, break some walls and, you know, things like that. But nobody expected that the entire structure would come down.
Overnight, barricades around the disputed structure had been erected and security forces deployed.
आज की तैयारी कैसी है?
पूरी तैयारी है, पूरी व्यवस्था बनी हुई है, लोगों में उत्साह है
और कुछ होने की आशंका संभव।
On 6th of December, people began assembling from early morning. Sadhus, car sevaks, journalists and BJP top leadership, everyone was there. Around 11 a.m., the first of the car sevaks broke through the cordon.
We were talking to the SSP, Mr. D.V. Rai, and he was very confident that nothing was going to happen. He was laughing away and, you know, he's telling us that why are you wasting time here, there's nothing going to happen, and we have had such big crowds so many times, nothing happens. And there are Supreme Court directives, the government doesn't want anything to happen. So just go home, have your breakfast and relax. We'll tell you in the evening what happened. Around that time only, you know, the commotion started. In minutes, we could see a few heads trying to climb the disputed structure from the hind side. And nobody expected that the attack would come from there. So we, all of us, most of the journalists who were gathered there, for a top view, we went to the Manas Bhavan, which is situated right in front of that structure. And on top, I think we clicked a couple of pictures of people climbing up from the hind side and these car sevaks increasing their chants of Jai Shri Ram and Mandir wahin banayenge and things like that. And then they started testing the barricades all over. The barricades started breaking, and finally journalists also were being chased at the Manas Bhavan rooftop. So we tried to quietly move out of that place. And just down the road, we were coming down towards this Thana so that we could be in a safer zone. So about 500 yards from this place, we were caught by the car sevaks, and these group of about 400, 500 car sevaks, they overpowered us, took away our bags, about 500 yards from this place. Then they brought us here, and here we were made to sit. Murga Banja is what they said. Raghurai was here, Prashant Panjar was there. There were a couple of photographers from Germany who the car sevaks mistook for staff of the BBC, and they were irritated by the BBC. And these guys, poor guys, had just landed in the country a couple of days before. They didn't know what this was all about. So we tried to calm them and also calm the high tempers of the car sevaks.
By 11:43 a.m., some car sevaks climbed on top of the dome of the masjid. A sense of hysteria seemed to have gripped the congregation. Despite appeals by political leaders present at the scene, the car sevaks attempted to demolish the structure that the Kalyan Singh government had given assurance to the Supreme Court it would protect. Voices were barely heard over the chants of the crowd. By 12:05 p.m., all three domes were submerged under the car sevaks. Hundreds more started attacking the base of the structure.
मैं पीछे राम दीवार पर जाकर के खड़ी हो गई और मैंने कार सेवकों को कहा भी कि आप लोग नीचे उतरिए। तो वैसे मानने को मेरे हाथ में मेगाफोन था, उससे मैंने कहा, लेकिन उन्होंने मुझे हाथ से मना कर दिया। तो फिर मैंने उनको नीचे खड़ी हुई भीड़ को कहा कि इसमें नीचे बम लगा दिए गए हैं और इसलिए अब ये पूरी गिरने वाली है, तो इनको नीचे उतार दो, नहीं तो सब लोग मर जाएंगे उसमें। तो इसलिए अगर आप लोगों को स्मरण हो, उसमें थोड़ी देर के लिए सब लोग नीचे आ गए थे, वो उसी बम की धमकी से आ गए थे। मैं चाहती थी किसी भी प्रकार से ये लोग नीचे आ जावें, लेकिन मैं कब तक रोकती, क्योंकि वहाँ भीड़ बहुत थी।
I tried my utmost. All appeals were made from my side, from the RSS side, from the Vishwa Hindu Parishad side, in all languages, but no response, and it went on. And then when I asked the police officials who were there, I would like to go and stop them there. He said, no, we can't allow you to go.
Could see right in front of us three tombs of the disputed structure, and I think the first one came down at around 1:20, and after that by 4-ish it was all over.
In Delhi, everyone was stunned into paralysis. The Rao government sent in forces, but they were stopped.
We were totally helpless. We had sent the paramilitary forces up to 4 kilometers, and thereafter they had to come back because Kalyan Singh, who was then the chief minister, he said, no, I won't allow your forces to go ahead.
By 4:49 p.m., the rubble was all that was left of the Babri Masjid.
उस ढांचे की सुरक्षा के मुकम्मल इंतजाम थे। इसके बावजूद घटना घटित हो गई, तो कभी कभी ऐसा होता है इतिहास में कि सब इंतजाम धरे रह जाते हैं, घटना घटित हो जाती है।
Kalyan Singh tendered his resignation by the evening. The Rao government cried betrayal and came under severe criticism.
With the help of the government machinery, with the help of the officially owned equipment of the PWD, they leveled the place, created a platform, brought back the idol, put it back on the platform, made a makeshift canopy, and created a new temple. When was it done? Was Mr. Kalyan Singh the chief minister at that time? It was Mr. Narasimha Rao who was the master of the situation, because at 7 p.m. or 6:30 p.m. that evening on the 6th, already Uttar Pradesh had been brought under president's rule. So who is responsible?
Key BJP and VHP leaders were arrested, and the government pledged to rebuild the mosque alongside a new temple at the site. The structure was demolished, but the disputes remained. This one incident changed the communal history of India, divided it emotionally, engulfed the country in a series of riots, redefined the word secular for India.